guys, what's up? How's it going? This is Easy Drawings. Today we're gonna go over how to draw Knuckles from the Sonic series, from Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Knuckles the echidna. It's gonna be real easy. I'm gonna do it step by step, and I'm gonna go through the entire process with you. So stick around for the whole video, and let's get started. What you need is, I'm gonna be using this very simplistic pencil. It's a mechanical pencil, and I'm going to use it to actually put lines in, right? I'm going to actually put lines in with that, like my guidelines. And then I'm using this. It's basically a black colored pencil, and I'm just going to use that for the actual drawing. But let's get started. I'll try to go through the underlay really fast because you're barely going to be able to see what is going on with this pencil. And what this is for is this is for placement. So I'm going to draw a circle. You're barely gonna be able to see it, but don't worry, I'm gonna go through this part quick. Go through this circle. You can throw like a center line-ish on that circle to kind of see where the center line of the face is. And he's also gonna be running. I like this kind of running pose thing. His body is essentially just kind of like this tube. Leg bent. Other leg is extended backward. And then he's gonna have his fist forward there like he's running, even though he is kind of running to the same side. Doesn't really make any sense. He'd actually have his arm crossed over. Actually, let me think. Nah, I'm gonna have that because I want to see the front of his body, even though it doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense. His giant fist, which is almost as big as his head, but it's not. And then his other arm's gonna be pulled back over here. That giant ball for the fist. Again, we're putting this for pure placement. His tendril things are going to be in the wind here. His actually move, right? These like almost dreadlock things. Where Sonic, I mean it does move, but Sonic's more like hair. I'm going to go in here. Find the bottom part of his face. And I'm gonna find his nose. Again, I'm just gonna throw stuff in here for pure proportion. Not gonna go into detail. Eye shape. And that's kind of it. I think that might be good enough. I forgot about his other foot over here. Draw like a box on the top part of his foot. He's got this bizarre freaking bolt looking thing at the top of his shoe. Maybe circle right here for the thumb, because that opposing thumb is kind of a hassle. You have to draw it in. And that's kind of it for the under sketch, okay? And hopefully you should barely be able to see that on the screen right now. And I'm gonna try to, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna just lightly erase it. Not totally erase it, I wanna be able to see it, but I also wanna knock it back a little bit. I'm just knocking it back a tiny bit so I can start going in with a pencil and it won't get too horrendously messy too fast. Yeah, I'm gonna knock it back a little bit. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this basically colored pencil, but if you wanna know what this is a Nero Hard Austria, I don't know what you call it, pencil, you know? It's an H4. And it goes down very dark, and I like the values you can get from it. Like, you can get a range of values from it. So I'm gonna go in over here. Now we start this with the Sonic universe. I always start on their eye that's nearest to me. That's just something I do. You don't have to do that. Pulling up right here. He's got more of a brow than Sonic does, so it kind of ends there, and then, you know, it's not a round toward, it's more like an ending on the top there, not so much of a round. Mostly Sonic has a big round eye. Sonic, Knuckles doesn't have that as much. Right here, going forward. Knuckles reminds me of the Piccolo. If you were to watch Dragon Ball Z, it kind of reminds me of the Piccolo of this universe. Right here, I guess he's got that big brow. Pull up. Pull back into the cranium. Gonna find that far side eye really fast. least the white part of the eye. I believe what's the white part of the eye called again? It's called the sclerella. Sclerella? Is that what it is? Sclera? Ah, sorry. Correct me in the comments. Sorry, I can't. I'm not gonna look it up right now. But I think it's sclera. Sclera, I think, is the white part of the eye. His nose a little bit pointier. Sonic's tends to be like this little hot dog shape or a round thing. Knuckles tends to be more pointed. Pull in his lower jaw here, and give him a little smile. Give him a little grit of the teeth. I'm gonna give him a little grit of the teeth because I think that's, I don't know, cool. And his eye is going to, when you draw the circle of the eye, it's really, all have very elongated kind of pupil and iris. On this one, he's going to be kind of looking downward. Like he's, I don't know, kind of like he's above you or he's looking down. Maybe he's running or he's looking back. And so you want that to be covered up by the bottom eyelid, or where the eyelid kind of ends there. Then we're going to draw the spikes. And they're kind of like tendrils. I like to think of them as like, I don't know, kind of like octopus, squid arms or something. Some on the far end here, maybe one on the far end, just to make sure. You can tell he has them on the far end. Pretty close to the side of his face here. Going into the body here, he's got a, I don't know what that emblem is on his chest. It's kind of like a banana shape, I like to think of it. Drawing the other part of his arm. It's a little bit bigger toward the fist. Like a little bit, it kind of comes out a little bit. I think that has to do with proportion and the kind of the result it would be. He needs kind of something to support the punch when he punches something. I mean, granted, these are not real physics, but just the design should kind of slightly make sense. Pull over here. And he's got those two knuckles, right? It would really hurt. And then it's gonna pull into that edge of that Mickey Mouse style glove that he has. Throwing in a little bit of kind of that, it's kind of shading, but it's kind of not. And that's really to show dimension, It's to show the turning of the form, right? What does that form look like? Because we don't know that, you're creating it as you go along. And it's a cartoon, it's a 2D universe, so how do you make the shapes of stuff pop out just using line or just a slight shadow? Shadow. Going in, bottom part of his leg. Goes into the other leg. Going back into the hand. Let me see. Pull back here on his back, and he has a tail. You know, Sonic don't got no. I mean, wait, Sonic does have a tail. Sorry. This is his tail. Backward into the shoe, and I want you to think of his kind of like upper, I don't know, upper sock. It would be, I don't know what it would be. It's kind of like a toilet paper roll. Think of how that would be, what would turn, you know. Go down here more. Looks kind of like he's wearing a bag on his foot, so that's why you gotta throw that extra layer, that sole. Basically, it's like a domino on his shoe. Try to make his foot look like it's on the same design. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna go back up here and try to repair. Not repair, but give some of this a better look up here. I'm gonna go back here, and I noticed the shape I have for this hand and this hand, they need to be, this one needs to be a little bit bigger, the shape. I can already tell it's gonna look weird if I don't do that. In. Got that spike at the end of it. Spike is more on the knuckle. Ha! So I need to make that obvious. And I'm gonna actually go right here for now, and before I do this foot, I'm gonna make a quick pass and try to erase a lot of the under sketch lines I had in, because they're starting to, it's getting to the point where I'm starting to get mixed up a little bit. So I'm gonna do a quick wipe of a lot of that stuff as much as I can, as much as time permitting. So how's your guys' day going? What are you guys working on art-wise? What projects are you working on? I want to know what you guys are up to, because it helps me and it actually inspires me when you guys tell me you're doing stuff. I never really said that publicly before, but it does. It's like knowing that people that watch this are working on stuff and are working to improve their own art. You know, maybe working on some sort of project. It's really inspiring to me. You know, and it makes me work harder. So that's why I like hearing about it. Like right now, currently I'm working on a book for my friend. We've been kind of tossing around the idea for 2 years, and I did some sketches, but she moved out of town, and now we're back on it. I got to get back on that book and really just kind of have fun with it and really enjoy it. I never did a book before. I don't know a lot about sequential art, so this is a learning process for me. So that's pretty fun. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. Also working on a book cover right now. I always have a lot of commissions, so that's one of the commissions I'm currently working on. Book cover. I've done a lot of book covers as well, but this one's actually fun. Like the other ones are not. Not the other ones are not, but there were some pretty weird projects in the past that I didn't really understand what I was doing. But All right, let's go down the foot, find that toilet paper roll. Try to make them look like they're the same size generally, right? Because they're not too far away from each other. This one's closer to us than that one in the back, but I'm not really gonna fudge with the scale. I'm just gonna make it about as similar as I can. Going over here, finding that domino piece over there as well. Pull down. So right now we're at the point where I pretty much have the drawing down, and this is a good place to be. I love this spot because now I can just kind of go in and, you know, toy with stuff if I choose to, and then I have to decide how far am I going to go with this particular drawing. This is the demo, obviously. This is a demonstration. This is a teaching thing. So it's only going to go, you know, so far. But if it was my own project, I'd be like, okay, now what can I do with it? What can I, you know, play around with? And right now, off the bat, I want to change something, and I'm not sure if I can actually, how much of this I can erase. I want to make his skull a little bit bigger. He has more cranial mass than I had before, and I could even make that bigger, but I'm gonna do that. You know, that line's there, it's kind of bugging, and I'm trying as hard as I can, but some lines you will just not be able to get rid of sometimes entirely. That's where the computer comes in. You can repair stuff on Photoshop. If you don't already have Photoshop, I recommend highly getting that. I don't know why anyone would not use Photoshop. It's an amazing tool. Even if you are a traditional artist primarily, you can clean up your drawings in a way that you'll never be able to clean up without it. So I love it. Get that really. I'm not even sponsoring. I'm not even sponsoring it. I just say that it's freaking awesome. Do it. Kind of going in, stepping back, and trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? Oh yeah, there's a pattern, kind of color pattern on this shoe. Kind of throwing in a little bit of shadow, assuming that the light source is coming from up to bottom, which is almost always. Just putting little bits. Now, I'm not full-blown shading anything, but what I'm doing is I'm putting little kind of indications of shadow. Every time I say shadow, I think of the character Shadow. It's hard not to. I'm putting little indications of you know, shadow, you know. So I am doing that. I'm throwing little lines down here, but I'm not, like I said, full-blown shading it. I'm not rounding it out and everything. I'm throwing like an extra little values here. And that's good enough right now. I think that's a good enough place to leave it. hopefully, if you were following along with me, I hope you were able to do it. If not, leave me a message and tell me where you dropped off. If not, you can rewind. You can pause as much as you need. But send me a message. Talk to me. Open a dialogue with me. I really want to get you to be able to draw this. So message me. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video if there's enough questions on one thing. If I miss something hardcore, let me know, guys. That's pretty much it. Hopefully you follow till this long. If you do want to learn person to person, like if you do want like a personal, like, hey, I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. If you'll send me stuff and I'll give you information on what you need to improve. You can do that. You can totally do that. At my Patreon, I literally go through people's drawings and I give them an idea of what they're doing wrong, because it's usually one or two not massive things, but it's one or two things that they're doing consistently incorrect, and I would try to correct that, But yeah, let me know. We'll do it. All right, thanks a lot, guys. I will see you next time, and I will talk to you guys soon. See you later.